Hi, I'm going to be talking about a workflow that I've been recently utilizing to create artwork for a D&D campaign that I want to be DMing. Now, you could use this workflow to create artwork for anything you might like, for your game or whatever. And basically, this workflow is supposed to address a couple of issues. So, I'm not an artist, so it's very difficult for me to find or create artwork um, for something that I don't see the benefit of investing financially. So obviously you could hire an artist and have them create all the art you want, but for something small with friends, that would be an expense that's kind of too big for my budget. So, well, the solution for me would then be something like AI and generated imagery and stable diffusion. The problems with that is that it usually comes with a big associated cost. So you would have to pay either monthly subscription fees or pay per generation or things like that. And even then, you're sometimes quite limited by what service you find offers. Now, with this solution, you don't have to pay anything other than your electricity bills and any other assets that you might want to use, but we'll get back to that in a second. So we're going to be utilizing Krita for this, together with a plugin called Krita AI Diffusion. Now, there's other ways to generate images. Of course, you can run them locally in different ways. However, I find this Krita plugin to be very user-friendly, and you don't need a lot of technical know-how to get started with this. So what you want to do to get started is download and install Krita, and then go ahead to the AI Diffusion page, click down here on Releases, and then you want to just download the latest release zip. Now, once you've done that, you can go down here and click on the plugin installation guide, which will take you here. So in Krita, you want to go to Tools, Scripts, and import Python plugin from File. And then you just navigate to the zip file you downloaded. And it might ask you to restart Krita, I'm not quite sure, but everything is going to be outlined here in this guide. Now that you have the plugin, you can go to Settings, Dockers, and AI Image Generation, which will give you a Docker something like this. And then in this configuration window, you will have to go to Connection, and you will have to there will be a button here that says Install. Now you can install various different things by default for your Stable Diffusion. This is my configuration I went with. So all the core plugins, the workloads, and then I have all of these selected, and I also installed some control nets. You can install more later on. So let's say I wanted to install this, I could click here and click install, but I'm quite happy with this. And then once you have installed these, this might take a while depending on your internet speed. And then you want to click on local managed server. Now, I want to preface that you need quite a powerful machine to run this. Obviously, the stronger your PC, the better. I've seen mentions of people using a 1060 GPU from NVIDIA to run this, and they've been having success with that. You can even run it on the CPU, so that is also an option. You can also connect it to a custom server or to an online service if you want to do that instead, but obviously that's going to come with associated costs. So we have a local managed server selected. We have installed all the required things, and we have started the server, and now we're here. So here we have kind of like a preview image of what I have generated in the past. And again, you can use this plugin to just generate whatever, a medieval city. They generate. And we'll generate those images for you. You can click here to set how many images you want to generate at a time. And it's going to go ahead and generate these. Now, again, depending on your hardware, this might take longer or less long. So let's see what it comes up with here for this simple prompt. There you go. Kind of like AI Stable Diffusion kind kind of thing. I'm using the digital artwork presets. I've made a copy of it and just changed some things. You can make copies of these different styles and use different checkpoints here. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. But I'm using the Dreamshaper 8 checkpoint, and I've just modified this prompt a little bit. You can add your negative prompt here and the style prompt here. So it's generated these three images for me, but this might not necessarily be what I want. So what you can do with this plugin is you can, in theory, you can draw and basically guide the AI to generate what you wanted to generate. So I could, let's say I say a house in the forest. That's what I want to generate. Or let's say a medieval tavern by the roadside in a forest during the day. And so if I just go ahead and let's say I paint some of the forest here, and then I want to generate some trees all around, kind of like this. Then I want to have my road going like this. And then I want to generate my tavern kind of like this. And as you can see, I'm not an artist, which is kind of like the whole point of this. And if you're good at drawing, you could, draw all these shapes and then have it just generate for you. But I'm going to go ahead like this. Just a simple drawing. And then we need to adjust the slider. So 100% strength means that it's not going to consider your base drawing at all. The lower you go towards 0, it's only going to consider your base drawing and not generate anything on top of that. I found that a good point if you wanted to use your input as reference is 65%. So let's go ahead and hit the refine button here. And based on that prompt and our drawing, it will now try to generate an image. So this is what it came up with. And as you can see, it's doing quite a good job of just taking what I put in and kind of running with it. We can try some different strengths as well. And again, it's going to give you some variations on that. You can make your prompt more detailed. You can obviously make a more refined drawing. And that is all good. And if you're happy with that, then feel free to use this, obviously. Have fun generating your artwork for whatever needs you have. However, I wanted to have some even more control over this as a non-artist. As you can see, I'm not good at drawing, and getting exactly what I want can be quite difficult. So what I have been doing is I've been using Unity. So you can use anything you want. In this case, I'm using Unity. You can download it for free. I'm using Unity 6. And we're going to create a little scene to kind of like outline what we want to generate, and then we're going to take that into Krita and use AI to enhance that. So I went ahead and imported some assets into my Unity project here. I'm going to be using the Meta Environment Dynamic Nature Pack by Nature Manufacture, as well as the Medieval Environment Pack by Manufactura K4. These are just assets that I have had lying around for a while. Again, you can use whatever assets you want. You can even make some yourself if you have the talent to do so. And then bring those into Unity right here. So let's go right ahead and add in a terrain here, like so. Let's add some terrain layers. So I definitely want to have some sort of grass layer. And then let's add some sort of dirt layer that we can use to paint in the path or something like that. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to go ahead and add in some trees. So I have my asset pack right here. Let's take a look at some of these. These look fine. Let's grab this one. And add this one. So now we have a couple of different trees. And again, feel free to pick the exact assets you want. I'm just going to do something quick and dirty here. So from the medieval environment pack, I'm going to go into the buildings and prefabs folder. I'm going to grab my city tavern and I'm going to plonk that down right there. Rotate it how I want it to be. Let's adjust the lighting a bit. So we have it from the angle we want. I'm going to pick this view right here. Then I'm going to align the camera with my view. And now we have this view saved here. I have my tavern, and let's go ahead and paint some of that dirt. Did we add it earlier? And I'm gonna go ahead and with a small brush, just paint a little bit around the outside of this. Pick a smoother brush here. And let's say I want my path to go from where it kind of is here. I want it to go over this way and then kind of like turn off to the side like this. And again, I'm looking in the game view here, kind of like seeing if I'm getting what I want. Then I'm going to go ahead and place some trees. So let's change the density to something more manageable here. A little bit less probably. If you can't tell, this is not scripted. Like so. And then let's add some on this side as well. And a little bit over here, casting some shadow. And then let's change my brush size to something low and maybe place one here. Let's turn on the size for this. Then let's add a couple more over here. Let's see what we got. That looks fine to me. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pick some of these other trees. Let's increase the brush size and let's just scatter some of those around as well. That's probably a bit much for what I'm going for. Let's change the density a bit lower. Something like this. Again, just doing something quick and dirty here. Feel free to do this exactly as you want. Gonna adjust my terrain a little bit. So let me bring this into a separate view again. And then let's say back here. Let's raise the terrain a bit. Let's maybe add some bigger mountainous shapes in the distance there. Like so. And then maybe raise this part a little bit. And that looks good enough to me, honestly. Again, make it as detailed as you wish. I'm gonna try to find some sort of rocks. I'm gonna pick from here. And then let's go to the rocks, prefabs. And let's see if we can find some assets to put into our scene here. Right, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Again, make it as detailed as you want. This is good enough for me. Actually, we have some cliff faces here. Maybe we can add a cliff to the background here to make it a bit more dynamic. So let's grab the view over here. Let's duplicate that. Let's go with that. Okay, so I'm going to take my scene view over here, my game view. I'm going to just go ahead and maximize this, and then you just go ahead and take some sort of screenshot of this. In this case, I'm just going to use the snippet tool and take a screenshot of this. You can do that in any fashion you'd like. Then I'm going to go back into Krita. Let's erase my drawing from earlier. Paste in our image. Let's resize it to fit the scene here. And then with the same prompt as before, I'm going to go ahead and with a strength of 65, click on the refine button and see what it generates for us. So let's come back with some results here. And now you can click on these and you can see what it gives you. And you can see we have a illustration of the environment that we wanted, but a far more controlled version of it than if we just randomly generate things. Now this is really great. Again, you can play with the strength up here. Let's try generating some at 50% strength as well. And this is, again, the lower you go here, the more it will just take what you have given it and, you know, modify it. The higher your strength, the more it will interpret into that. And I'm actually liking this one quite a lot. What you can also do is, let's say I wanna go for this one here, but I would like to have this cliff face in the background. Actually, let's go for this one. So I want to have the cliff in the background and this in the foreground. And then you can go ahead and use the eraser tool. And up here, I'm just gonna erase this so that a cliff comes into view like this. And then I can lower the strength a bit to 35 or something like that. And hit refine to make it generate from this. And this is the final composite that it came up with. Now I can go ahead and export this. So let's export this as a JPEG. And let's call this Forest Tavern. Okay. And here we go. Here's the final image we generated. Now, again, you can spend as much time on this as you want or as little as you want. I would be quite happy with this, even though, you know, it has some of the AI quirks that things become kind of random shapes. But from a distance, I think it looks pretty good. And this would be good enough for me to use in my D&D campaign. So again, we went from this to this. As you can see, it's very much taking what we gave it as reference and generating an illustration based on that. Now, that is all I wanted to show. I hope you can use this somehow and have fun generating artworks for whatever you need it. Bye.